And the question is it completely done for Arsenal now? Perhaps, not perhaps, it is. What's good, guys? Welcome back to All About Arsenal. And yeah, I've taken time to actually do this video because after the loss at West Ham, every Arsenal fan is feeling it. But I could have easily just come out with a video, rant and stuff like that. But I think it gets to a point where you kind of really want to take time and think about what's actually happening. It's so easy when a result happens and all of a sudden we get emotionally charged up. And best believe I've, been listening to a lot of videos, fan cams, whether some AFTV, Charles Watts, and just seeing what these guys are saying as well, because it's always good to get different perspectives. I could have done this video after the Liverpool Man City match and I'll say, oh, look what happened and blah blah blah. And even though people were saying, oh, it would be just our luck if Man City get a result against Liverpool, and I knew deep down it was going to happen. At most it'd be a draw, but I didn't see Liverpool losing that game. Right, I think the question now is the season over? Mathematically, the season is not over. The season is over in regards to how we are playing. That is the big difference. There's an 11-point gap. It's monumental. We have a game in hand. So the thing with football, and I don't want to sound delusional, but strange things can still happen. With the way Arsenal are playing, nothing's going to happen. That's a fact with the way we're playing, right? Can things still turn around? Very, very, very slim. I don't see it happening. I do not see Liverpool dropping points. The only way that's going to happen is if Liverpool, and I'm not saying anything like this before people try and say, oh, I'm some type of wizard, I did witchcraft, is if these guys have a serious injury crisis, which don't see it happening. Their players on such form, but unless something, God forbid, and I'm saying God forbid, like something happened to Van Dijk or Salah, whoever, one of their key players, Szoboszlai, whoever it is, that's the only way those guys are going to start to dip. But I just don't see it happening. Problem with Arsenal, it's been a funny season. We've had crazy red cards. Another red card with Skelly, that's our 5th red card of the season. That was a red card. Did Skelly have to do it? Yes. Why was Raya that forward? I can understand why he was, but Skelly had to make that challenge. Or else it'd have been easily 2 down already for Arsenal. Is it a cause for concern? The season, yes. But for the future, no. Yes, like I said, those red cards have been an issue. But there's underlying factors we have to understand. When you don't do anything in the summer transfer, you don't do anything in the winter transfer, you cannot expect luck. Mikel Arteta's got a lot to answer for, and I'm not one of those ones that's going to start saying Arteta out, no, because he's done a good job. He has done a good job. I mean, we have to realize that when we do get good results, and he's been banging with his tactics, we give credit to where credit is due. He's made a cascade of mistakes. You didn't sign anybody in the summer. You went for Calafiori and Marino. Fair enough. Those are the players you wanted. Those are the players you've got. Everybody's been saying we need a striker. You said we didn't. Fine. Look at you now. You now went for Watkins now. Look what happened there. Fine. Watkins, people are saying we should have bid more for him. We should have given the asking price. Is inflated. Let's be honest. If we're already having pretty much of a strange season, the season's not clicking, bringing in Watkins who'll still need time to settle in, even though, yes, he's Premier League proven and ready, I would have paid 65 million for Watkins if we are in a very strong position. We're playing well, but we're just lacking something. We're 2 points behind Liverpool, Saka as well, all those other players are doing well. I would say, you know what, slap in a Watkins because let's put some pressure. But I don't believe Arteta did that because I think he knew we probably won't do it this season. And that's me honestly saying that. If he did, we would have went all out. I believe we would have. 65 million pound for a 29-year-old striker is not good business. I don't care what no one says. A lot of Arsenal fans might say in the comments, oh, but you're not a true gooner. Nah, man, like, let's be honest, like, it's still business. We paid 65 million for Havertz, and the reason why you can say that was probably plausible is because of his age. He's 25 years old, but Watkins is 29, he's gonna be 30. That's not good business. It's good business for Aston Villa, and never do business when you're desperate. Another mistake Arteta has made, is people keep on saying, and teams are going to continuously play in a low block. It's not going to change. Man City have experienced that for seasons, but yet they still grind out results. How many times are teams playing in a low block, but somehow Pep finds a way around it? If Arteta has been schooled under Pep, this shouldn't be an issue for him. With all of the fancy football analysts on the field with their iPads and fancy technology and gadgets and gizmos, are you trying to tell me none of these guys find strategies how to play against a low block? Or is it because Arsenal do not have the players to do it? I believe Arsenal have the players to do it. But I believe another mistake from Arteta is his refusal to change his tactics and adjust. We did see it when Mikel Merino came on. I'm going to touch on that. People saying, oh, but it was a one-off with Mikel Merino. I don't really think so. I mean, we had 2 chances on goal against West Ham. That is poor. They sat back and defended. What service did Merino get? Anything for him to actually head? It was only in the first half he got something like a half volley and he was stretching for it. That was it. It's on Mikel Arteta. Another thing you have to realise, people are trying to blame the Kroenkes. It's not the Kroenkes' fault. You wanted Rice, 105 million, you got him. You wanted Jesus, you got him. You wanted Zinchenko, you got him. You wanted Merino, you got him. You wanted Calafiori, you got him. So let's not blame the Kroenkes. What Arteta has wanted, he has got. Let's be honest, we would have got Mykhailo Mudryk if Chelsea didn't do what we scuppered it at the end, but it's a good thing we didn't go for him. But the point is, you got him. You wanted Trossard, you got him. So my point is that you did get the players you wanted. If you see what I'm trying to say, we wanted Sesko, you could have got him, but the player didn't want to go. It's got nothing to do with the Kroenkes. It's Arteta. It's Arteta is what he wants to do. You get rid of Reece Nelson, you get rid of Nketiah, you get rid of Fabio Vieira, is on loan, you get rid of Smith Rowe. All attacking players. And who do you bring in? A defensive midfielder and a left back or a left-sided centre back. Mistake. Another mistake Arteta has done. People are saying Arsenal are unlucky with injuries. No. Saka, hamstring. Martinelli, hamstring. Havertz, hamstring. What does that tell you? The players are worn out. You're wearing out your forward players with no suitable backup. What did you expect to happen? Those injuries could have been avoided. So no, I don't believe, unless you count Ben White, that was unlucky. What Timber experienced last season, that was unlucky. Tomiyasu has been injury prone, get rid. Jesus is injury prone, get rid. You know this. This is what I don't understand. Mikel Arteta's mistake. He saw that we were able to go on a strong run with those same players last season, and he thought, I'm going to do it again. Same thing that Pep did this season, and we can see how that ended for him. For Liverpool, I must say, they've had a good streak, and they've had luck with injuries. Some people said, no, they're able to rotate. When Salah was out last year after the AFCON, Liverpool dropped off. They struggled without Salah. They struggled, let's be honest. So injuries to key players will definitely shape how you do in the season. They're having a very good season because they are having their players that are fit and they're able to play consistently. That leads to Martin Odegaard. He's getting a lot of slack. He's getting a lot of slack for his play. He's been off. Ever since he came back from his injury, he's not been the same. But people have to realise, people say, no, Odegaard's not that good. But I sat down and I analysed. Salah is playing consistently with Luis Diaz or Gakpo, Dominic Szoboszlai, Trent. You're continuously playing with the same players, so you know they click, they know how they think. Odegaard is playing with makeshift forwards all the time. There's changes, too many changes. The stability is when he plays with White and Saka. They understand each other. That's how they play. There's nothing wrong with that. What it does mean that Odegaard next season has to up his game. He likes to play through balls. You're not going to get that when teams are sitting deep. So he needs to polish up on his game. That is it. He's been rusty with his confidence. Yep, he's not been taking shots. I remember, 2 seasons ago, he scored about 15 goals. That was then, this is now. Teams have adjusted to Arsenal. So yes, he needs to improve and bring more to his game. Perhaps he needs to sit in a number 8 and we need to bring in another number 10. Simple as. You know, teams are adjusting to the way they play Arsenal, so Arsenal need to adjust. So it's a time where a lot of the Arsenal players now need to start grinding out and finding new ways to win games. Arsenal have had a poor season, terrible season, but we're still second. Man City have had an abysmal season. They're fourth. Probably they might not even qualify for Champions League. They lost again. The point I'm trying to say is that they've had injuries to key players. We've had injuries. We've had probably more injuries to key players than they have. But look how we've still been able to maintain second. I'm not saying we need to celebrate about that. But if we had dropped off to 5th and 6th, we've been unlucky. Some of the red cards have been unlucky. Trossard and Rice is one. They've been unlucky. Injuries, like I've said, it's on us, right? Some of it has been on us. There's players we know that are injury prone. We didn't do nothing. And we wore out some of our players. That is on us, right? Let's get that right. But for us to be still second with 6 points ahead of Forest, who are having a phenomenal season, I still think there's something positive to take away from that. And I know Arsenal is going to say, oh, what are you talking about, man? No, see that. If we can have such a terrible season and be where we are, I think we've done decently. Liverpool are having a phenomenal season, let's be honest. So that's what I'm trying to say. Let's take things into perspective. Could we have done better? Of course we could have, without a doubt. But there's another thing that Arteta needs to receive blame for, and this is it. Check it. I was actually going through our games that we had. There was, I think, a 10-day gap between one of our games. Let me go to it, so I'm not just talking off my head. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. So I'm going to February. Let's go to. I'm going to grind this out for you because these are some things that I just don't understand, and this is where I think that Arsenal do not have an excuse. So Arsenal playing Forest tomorrow, and I'm not confident for that game, but I'll explain why. So check this. So we beat City 5-1, and then between City and Leicester, the City and Leicester game, so we played City on the 2nd of February, and then our next game was on the 15th. Wow. And the reason why I'm saying that is that how many days, even if you have a depleted squad, how many days do those players have to rest and prepare for our next game? Then from the 15th, 7 days later, you have another match against West Ham that we lost. 7 days. And there's some teams they're playing midweek games. We've had no midweek games. Not until tomorrow. What's the excuse why these guys do not have adequate time to prepare, even if you have a depleted squad? They've got a depleted squad, and if they were still playing midweek games or they had to do Champions League playoffs, like I say, the players, they are exhausted. You've got time to rest up. I'm not saying that the training is not rigorous, but you've got more time to prepare. So guys, man, let's be honest, mathematically, it's not over. We have a game in hand. Do I see Liverpool dropping any points? I don't see. But Liverpool have got an interesting one. And the reason why I'm going to say that, let's get to it. Liverpool have Newcastle tomorrow. Then they have to play Newcastle again, I think, a week later in the Carabao Cup final. That game, Newcastle are going to go for it. And the reason why Newcastle are going to go for that Premier League game, whoever that wins that game between them psychologically, whoever that wins that game is going to have a psychological advantage going into the final. So Newcastle are going to play them. If Liverpool lose against Newcastle and somehow Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest, which is a long shot, we're going to be 7 points behind them. If we win our game in hand, and these are ifs. I'm not deluded, I'm just saying ifs. If we win our game in hand, we'll be 4 points behind them. If we go to Anfield and we squeeze out a result, let's say we won, we'll be 1 point behind them. This is hypotheticals. It is unlikely with the way Arsenal are playing. But my point is, mathematically, it is not impossible. It's going to take a prayer and a miracle, and those players to really sit down and search themselves, because they showed no desire. West Ham, they showed no desire, no fight, no nothing, as if nothing was at stake. something is wrong. Last season, when they went to Dubai and came back, those guys, they had a renewed something in them. But I think it's the whole season, the injuries, the red cards. It's been a funny season. I think it's taken the toll on them mentally. But this is on Mikel Arteta to rally the troops. It's his job, not the Kroenkes. So stop blaming them. They've given him the players he's wanted. 700 million he's spent. So how can people be blaming the Kroenkes? He's had money. You bought Rice, 105 million, there you go, take it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. This is a not rant, but realistic breakdown. Let me know what you think. Till next video, peace.